touching on the top prop bets in the NBA today. Also going to give you guys some NHL, NFL, and PGA props as well. It's a jam-packed video. Let's get into it. So yesterday's bet of the day, all four of the players that I recommended cashed, which was pretty awesome. My thought process was you could pick two of those and, try to give yourself a good chance to cash. Both of them hit. That was pretty awesome. So as it sits this morning, the best value that we are currently getting is going to be the Celtics versus the Hornets. They are not really representing the Celtics that well. They're not really considering the matchup just yet on PrizePicks. So just starting with points, I would say they do have it correct on both PrizePicks and DraftKings. That's not where the biggest edge is going to be. The biggest edge is going to be looking at like rebounds and assists. So Al Horford's over rebounds is set at -135. And so we can see that, those are not really terrible odds, especially considering the matchup with Charlotte. Obviously, one of the easiest matchups on the slate. And so you would imagine that he should be able to get a slight bump there. At -135, they are saying that he has about a 57% chance to get that over, which is, those are numbers that are tough to pass up on. And we can see on the season, he is currently averaging right around that. Okay, so that's kind of the biggest issue with Al Horford is he going to get that over? And part of the issue is going to be looking at rebounds. Games in which he gets more minutes, like 36 minutes, are games in which someone is typically out. It's tough to say exactly how many minutes he's going to get. So I feel like it's risky, but it's also very logical. So Marcus Smart actually has a lot of overs that are appealing as it sits right now. So first, over 3.5 rebounds. Okay, so that's one you could do. Assists are where we're going to get the biggest edge as it currently sits, -145. Okay, so we pull up Marcus Smart here. I don't know if we want to bet points. Okay, but I think over the rebounds makes a lot of sense. We can see he's been able to do that in 4 out of the last 5 games. Obviously, the matchup with Charlotte, once again, is going to be appealing part of that. And then as we look at it, we can see the over is slightly over his average on the season rebounds wise. That's not bad. We'll take that. But we could also potentially go with something like assists as well. We can see he averages 7.2 on the season, and they're giving him 7.5 assists. But looking at that, they're giving him -145 to get the over assists. Those are too good of numbers really to pass up on there for Marcus Smart. Vegas is basically saying he has a 59% chance to get the over there, which is highly appealing. But, with that, it's like, what do we want to do? Do we want to do points, rebounds, and assists? Because we can kind of see that, he's sort of being undervalued. You could do that. Potentially fantasy score. I don't think we're getting that just yet this morning. Let's see. Yeah, we're not. So maybe you just go with assists for now. If we get fantasy score, which kind of helps elevate the floor a little bit, you could do that as well. And then another one, just sticking with that game, would be looking at Jason Tatum under threes. We can see that 3.5. That's a decently high number, especially in a game that has a decent chance to be a blowout. So there's a good chance that Jason Tatum doesn't get his final rotation, thus doesn't need to shoot more threes. Is pretty much what it comes down to. Now, I'm not saying that this is a lock or going to be anything close to that. This is going to be a close one most likely. It just depends on really how he's shooting and how the game flow goes. I don't love it, but this morning, guys, there wasn't that many props out there, and there wasn't enough injury news to give you guys the Bogdanovich, call from last night, or the Mathurin call, even though they didn't give us the prop on Mathurin. That was sad. But, we don't have enough news right now to give you that type of plays. So I'm going based off of what we have this morning. And so these are what we have. The Celtics are presenting some good value. And then we get into someone like Pascal Siakam. Now, this is a pretty interesting one to me, 25.5. And the odds at this are set at -125. So not really good odds there, okay? But he is someone that more times than not, I think in this matchup is going to be able to get the over. And if we just look at what he did against them earlier on this season, we can see that he really smashed that over. He really just went off against them. And sure, that was like a little bit of a great stretch right there. But I love the fact that he did go off against them. So that's going to be a little bit encouraging there as well. And then what do we do with Mason Plumlee, guys? Mason Plumlee's points are still set at 12.5. He had 21 points against Toronto and 16 points against Toronto, against Indy 18 and 17. Like, he's going off against some better defenses. And so the worry would be that the last time they played the Celtics, he wasn't that involved. Only had 27 minutes. That game was a blowout. So that's the biggest worry there. But we can see really for quite a good stretch, he's been able to get the over quite frequently. So it's just one of those ones. It's interesting. Like, he's been someone we've talked about the last 4 slate. And so I just want to bring him up again because it's a very interesting one. Does he continue the hot hand? And he potentially could. Obviously, with LaMelo Ball on the court, that does help out Plumlee, it seems like. So he could be someone that you look at, maybe rebounds or points wise. Rebounds, he's been over that or close to that decent amount as well. So right now, as it sits, like, really the best basketball bet that we have would be Marcus Smart. Okay, you could force in Horford, but as it sits right now, we just don't have that many great bets. The board will, work itself out throughout the day, and hopefully we can find some some bets to go off of. And I will say, starting Monday, I will be doing a write-up that I will continuously update throughout the day on the 9 to 5 website that shows just bets that I like, but that'll be starting on Monday, just so you know. So there's actually a decent amount of good props, and hopefully they haven't adjusted since I did this video like yesterday. So Ashton Matthews, right now he's currently projected to go over 3.5 shots at -135. So good odds there for Matthews. You could certainly take those odds. The NHL bets have pretty much been working out as well, so might be something there where we just chase the good odds, and obviously that helps us out right off the bat is just chasing good odds, but they seem to be hitting more frequently. And then we look at this, we can see the shot attempts have been up recently over his last 5 games, but he's actually projected to get the under 3.5 shots on goal at -135 or -140. Now, I don't love the fact that we can clearly see that he's been close to that quite a bit, but Vegas is valuing that pretty high, valuing it as a 58% chance that he does hit under those shots. So that is also something tough to pass up on. But the one that really looks good, and I don't love this either, because look at how many shots on goal he's had, and I don't know anything about or NHL. I've been chasing the odds here, and so they're saying Patterson has a -145 chance to hit the under. Okay, so they're saying he has a 59% chance to hit the under here. Those are numbers that are tough to pass up on. So if you want to do an NHL prop with Marcus Smart as it sits right now, you do less right here. Now, I came out with a specific NFL prop bet video already, especially for the Saturday game, so make sure to check those out. I'm going to give you guys some ones that stood out to me as it sits right now, some ones that weren't really there yesterday. So Parham Jr. over 10.5 receiving yards. It's interesting, and I don't love it too much, but we can see 3 out of the last 5 games he's been able to do that, and they're actually giving him -140 to get over that. So a pretty significant chance, about a 58% chance to get that over. And really with him, it just depends on how many snaps he's going to play, because he could play between 20 and 40% of the snaps. With Mike Williams out, I think the thought process is that they're going to put another big body on the field a little bit more. So that is where he becomes an appealing play. And honestly, I kind of like the idea of doing the fantasy score a little bit better, because I could see him potentially getting like a red zone target. Maybe he just hits value for us fantasy score wise, but pretty much this is saying if he gets over the 10 yards, which they're already saying, that would mean he's going to get a reception as well. And then you're basically at 2.5 points, So a decent prop there, NFL wise. And this is one that I don't really love, but they said Dalvin Cook over 2.5 receptions. And we can see he did that against the Giants the last time out. That could be why. It's tough to say. And I do expect them to probably lean on him a little bit more, given the fact that it is the playoffs. But they have this at -145 for him to get the over. Okay, so pretty good number there. 59% chance for him to get the over. Once again, those odds are just tough to pass up on. And then I was just a little bit shocked that we were getting some of these props here for Irwin. He is someone that's been playing about 40% of the snaps. And so you could potentially go with the receiving yards over prop. Been able to get that as well. As long as he's going to be playing that many snaps, and even with Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase all healthy, he still should get those snaps, okay? And as long as he does, I would say this over score is highly appealing today. We can see he's been able to get over or at it 5 straight games. And if we pull him up on DraftKings as well, we can see he hasn't had a single game thus far this season in which he's been under that. So it's basically a catch is what we're hoping. And obviously, the odds are pretty good for him to do that. I'm not saying it's a lock and load. It's just something that caught my eye when I was going through the process. And then PGA, there are a lot of interesting bets out there PGA wise. Like Siwoo Kim should be able to finish better than Benny Ann there. So he should be able to score more birdies. Brian Harman is projected to score more birdies than Joseph Bramlett. They actually split yesterday, both scoring, I think it was 4 birdies on the round. Harman's the better player and was projected to do much better today, or this tournament. So more times than not, he's going to be the better play, especially today. So that is a bet that I also like. But the one I keep coming back to, and sorry, one more, Tom Hoagie over Chad Ramey should easily be able to do better than him. They split yesterday with the amount of birdies they made. But the one I keep coming back to is the one I've been hammering thus far this week, but Stuart Sink, birdie or better. I recommended this, I think, on the last 2 videos where they're not correctly valuing him. He's going against basically a nobody as it sits right now. And Sink has been someone that's done really well at this tournament. So he already hit more birdies than him on this tournament. And yesterday, Sink had 5 and Nunez had 4. The thing is, Sink was kind of projected to do well, whereas the other guy really wasn't. So the chances are that Sink should be able to hit the over. And so once again, he would be the one that I'd be going with. And so once again, guys, I want to show you guys this. This is up to you guys how you want to split this out. I like to break it down into two bets, the two bets that are give me the best odds. Now you could potentially kind of mix and match it as well to the point where you're getting exposure to all of them, and you're just hoping that the Vegas odds are correct there, the percentages, because more times than not, that's going to hit for you. And obviously, if you're doing it this way, you need to just be over 33% of the time hitting to cash, because that's how the contests are broken down. But that's all I have for you guys for this video. We'll not have a video out tomorrow morning, just an FYI. We'll have NFL stuff out, just that'll be out there as well. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give a like and subscribe. That helps me continue to be able to put out more content for you. All right, let's have a good slate. Have a good weekend, guys. And as always, let's keep cashing.